How's it going, everybody? And it is time for another Mr. Poestyle video. And we are going to talk about a Steel City Con. That is the Comic-Con for the Pittsburgh area. Steel City is what Pittsburgh is known as because back in the day, we had a zillion steel mills, so much that the sky was dark at noon back in the day from all the bad toxic black smokes and whatnot. And we still have a bunch of steel mills around here. In fact, I have worked for one for the last almost 17 years of my life. Steel City Con is located outside of Pittsburgh, about 13 miles east, which is good for me. It's Monroeville, Pennsylvania. That's not real far from where I live. And we used to go quite a bit, me and the kids. My wife doesn't like crowds. She doesn't like that kind of stuff. Mrs. Poestyle, don't do that shit. But my kids, Poestyle Jr., Claude Style, what's their gamer names? They've gone with me every time. Now, we haven't been there since December of 2016 when we met Mr. Henry Winkler. We may have met Lou Ferrigno at that time, Sid Haig, Tutti Effin' Fruity, Captain Spaulding, you know who he is. We've met Anthony Michael Hall there. We've met Ralph Macchio there. We've met Billy Zapka there, and, oh gosh, his name is escaping me, the Sensei, Bad Sensei, Cobra Kai. We met the kid with the blonde hair that hates Harry Potter. My daughter wanted to meet him. We met Abraham and Eugene from The Walking Dead. Bunch of people we've met there through the years. The Cobra Kai Cast was 2015. So that was before they were the Cobra Kai Cast. They were the Karate Kid Cast. And actually, I don't think Cobra Kai was even fully developed, or maybe they even knew that that was going to happen at the time. But it was really cool meeting them. And I'll have a little video here, or a montage I videotaped off and on. Mostly just the vendor stuff that we looked at. It's really changed there since we've been there last. You used to be able to get great deals on video games and video game systems. They used to have a ton of boxed things like Jaguars and or Jaguars if you're from the UK. Stuff like that. They had bins, Rubbermaid containers full of NES, Super NES, N64 games, Atari 2600 games. And come to think of it, I didn't look hard, but I don't think I saw anything 2600 related, ColecoVision related. I did see Tron Deadly Discs and the other Tron game for the Intellivision. They didn't have a price on it. They wanted you to ask them about it. And the boxes were a little beat up, and they were in Ziploc freezer bags. So I don't know if they were complete with overlays or not. Didn't ask about them. Most of the games that I saw, Super Nintendo, N64, Sega CD games, Genesis games, a lot of people had them locked up in cases, and you know what that means. It's not like it was in the old days. I bought James Bond 007 GoldenEye for the N64 there that was in a giant Rubbermaid container, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years ago from a vendor, and I think it was $6. I don't even know what it's going for now, but back then it was just like, grab your games, yo, and it was a great deal. Now everybody wants to do the, I have this copy of Kid Flatulence for $5 billion when it's a $2 game. I would probably actually pay that for a game called Kid Flatulence. Maybe like Boogerman. I did see a few Nintendo games at a vendor that I did buy, and he was actually lower, a little bit lower than price charting, still in the ballpark. I did buy them. I'll show them here. The big draw for me was the cast of the Goonies. 6 cast members of the Goonies were there for pictures and or meeting them individually, and I did do that. We did the pro pictures with the entire cast that they had, and Steel City Con was billing this as the biggest public reunion of the cast of the Goonies ever. So this is the first time they got that many of them out in a public place, and it happened to be in Monroeville, Pennsylvania, near Pittsburgh. Monroeville, Pennsylvania is famous for anybody. Okay, the convention center where this happens is right across the road. It's park at the parking lot of the Monroeville Mall, where Dawn of the Dead was filmed in 1978. George Romero, Dawn of the Dead. The mall is still there. It is still kicking. Actually, in our area, it's probably the most lively Dawn of the Dead mall that's still left. We have other malls that are still barely hanging on by a thread. We have other malls that are completely dead. My wife and daughter actually go to this mall almost every Saturday. If not to shop, then to window shop, walk around and look. So it's still doing great. It is right there. And this time, Steel City Con has gotten so big, we had to actually park in the mall parking lot and cross the busy road to get over to the Monroeville Convention Center for this. In the past, it was smaller. The convention center, meeting the celebrities, you could just walk up and talk to them. I talked to Henry Winkler 5 years ago for like 10 minutes straight, and we did pay for a selfie with him. And the money we paid for the selfie included all 3 of us and some selfies, and they took several selfies. And we talked to him, and I just, blubbered like an idiot like everybody does about how much I loved Happy Days back in the day. And it was just funny talking to the Fonz, who was the tough guy, and I'm 6'4", and he's probably 5'4", and he was just he was shorter than both of my kids at the time, and they were very young, 5 years. They were like 15 and 12 years old at the time. But we went to meet the cast of the Goonies, and that included Mikey, Data, Mouth, Corey Feldman fame, Andy, she was there, Carrie Green, and the 2 Fratellis, the brothers, were there. Both of them made it. So that was pretty sweet. Was that all of them? There were 6 of them. I'm trying to think, did I miss somebody? Sean Astin, Mikey, did I say Mikey? Yeah, he was there. And and we actually, I waited in line and individually met, and I didn't get it on video, Sean Astin and Data, or Shorty, Short Round, from the Temple of Doom, Indiana Jones. What a great guy he is. Just the nicest guy in the world. And Sean Astin, he was pleasant. They didn't talk a lot. He signed what I'm going to show you here. And, we had our pleasantries. We definitely waited in his line for a long time, probably an hour. The Corey Feldman line, that was probably a 2-hour line. Corey Feldman. He came in there with his COVID mask on. Now, he did take it off once he got to his booth, but it was big and fancy and blinged out. Big old giant Elvis, Aaron Presley type glasses on. He had a ball cap on that was blinged out. He was walking in a multicolored hoodie. Under that, it was like a pink velvet jogging suit. And I didn't see his feet, but my daughter said they were big, giant, pink, fluffy slippers when he was walking in. And there was an entourage. That's Corey Feldman for you. I knew that line would be way too long. We wouldn't get to where we were going in time if we did that. And we were there for probably 6 hours. We did the 1-day visit there. You can do 2 days. You can do 3 days there. It's 3 days. I don't think all of them were there yesterday on Friday. They were all there today. I think they're all there tomorrow as well, December the 12th. Actually, that's probably when I'll be putting this video out. Rob Schneider was there. I was going to go see him, and the line was really short. Rob Schneider is very personable. He does not do a mask. He comes right out there and hugs everybody. You can do it. Always a fan of him since he was back on SNL, and of course the Sandler movies, whether you like them or not. Rob Schneider was freaking hilarious. I was going to go over there, and he's a tiny fella too. Really. Well, I'm a big, tall, fat ass, but I mean, he's just a tiny fella. I really wanted to go see him because he was standing there like the past when you would go. He was standing there just shooting the breeze with everybody, taking his time and getting the pictures taken, you know. Where everybody else, it was kind of quick. But K-Hugh Kwan, I hope I didn't butcher his name, Data, Short Round Shorty. I did get a selfie at his booth with him, along with the pro picture later on with all of them. And the pro pictures now aren't like they used to be. When they did it, like when we did the Karate Kid pro pictures, they actually had time to talk to us. But it took a while. It took a long time to get through the line, and then when you went out for them to print your picture out, if you weren't getting a digital picture sent to you, if you were getting the actual picture, it took a long time to wait for them to print. So they've learned from that. So now it's super fast. You get in the line, you might be waiting for a while. Things were pushed back because Sean Astin was supposed to be doing photo shoot, you know, with fans by himself. Then he was doing a Memphis Belle photo shoot, and he was doing a Stranger Things with Matthew Modine, and then the Goonies. And they have a thing now where they do VIP passes. So the VIP... Sorry about that, my camera decided to just kick out, but like I was saying, the VIP pass, even if you were standing there in line for 9 billion years, they pay for the VIP. They come in later than you. They don't give a fudge. They're shooting on up in there. And that never used to be a thing. If I ever go again, it would have to be a huge draw for me to go again, because it is so huge now. Steel City Con over the years, through the smaller events that we went to, made their money. They've gotten bigger. They're able to offer more to the celebrity guests. It's gotten bigger. They've started this VIP thing. That's more expensive. So we didn't do that. Live and learn. It's a different experience this year than it was 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, 8 years ago when we went. We used to go, there was a few times we went a couple times a year, you know. We hadn't done that for a while. But the Goonies was a huge draw for me. I wanted to see them. They also had Billy from the Gremlins was there. I think they were doing, yeah, they were definitely doing a photo op with him and Corey Feldman together. I didn't go to see them. I think they had the woman that did the voice of the Little Mermaid. There was artists there. Now, what you'll see in the video is me just looking at some of the stuff that some of the vendors had. Your normal thing, like the really cool Welcome Back Cotter trading cards and stuff like that. I always thought that stuff was cool. I had a bunch of that kind of stuff, you know. Superman, the movie, trading cards, Star Wars cards. There's going to be Star Wars toys, Castle Grayskulls, and all of that kind of stuff that I just filmed real quick up on the wall. There were a place that would make custom arcade cabinets for you. They're pretty sweet. So you'll just see me flashing around to things like that. Now Saturday, every day that you go there when they have it, Steel City Con is 3 times a year. April, August, and December. And it's a Friday, a Saturday, Sunday. You can do a 3-day pass, whatever. There are always people doing cosplay walking around. It's not really my thing, but sometimes there are some really neat ones. Sunday is their big day for cosplay, and they do different age groups. And all day long in the event room, they are doing things like judging them and giving them trophies and medals and whatnot for that. Not my huge thing, but you'll see there was a guy at the end when we were leaving, and I'm ignorant to it. I don't know who he was, but he had a dragon on his shoulder. He had built this thing himself, and it looked pretty sweet. We went through most of the junky type stuff. Like I said, I was looking for video games. There's junk jewelry, 5,000 stands that have pop figures, you know, if you're into the pop figures. Everybody had them. Some of them were signed by celebrities that had been there in the past, or the ones that were there now. They went through and had them signed, if that's your thing. My kids do have some pops. They haven't gotten any in a few years, but they have some pops, you know, sitting around there. I got one thing signed by Sean Astin and KQ Kwan. I hope I didn't butcher it. Data, Shorty, Short Round. And that is my new, brand new, and this is totally brand. I haven't even opened the top of this yet. It's a new game. Well, it isn't a new game, but it is a new game. Collectorvision made GOONiNUFF, the GOONiNUFF, not Good Enough. You know, Good Enough, Cyndi Lauper, Good Enough, with all the wrestlers from the WWF. GOONiNUFF, it's the Goonies game. And they finally made it. It's a homebrew game. They finally made it. Someone has finally made it. Carl Madruga, is that how you pronounce it? I'm sorry. Carlos Madruga. I'm sorry, I could have really messed that up. Collectorvision made this game, and they did pre-orders in August of 2021 this year. And I was supposed to get it. I was in on that pre-order, and I think somebody said they only made 100 at the time. They're going to make more. But they made these, so I hurried up and pre-ordered it. I jumped on it. I saw the email in time to finally get one, and I love the Goonies. I love the Goonie games for different systems and emulators. And so I ordered it in August. Then I start seeing on some of my Facebook groups that the game was being sent out. They made 2 other games at the same time. People were getting these in October. And I'm like, okay, any day now I'll get mine, because I pre-ordered right along with these guys before it was sold out. And I didn't. Collectorvision is a very small company. You got a few people here and there working on stuff. They are working on a ton of stuff. They make a lot of ColecoVision homebrew games. They have made Sega Master System homebrew games, Super Nintendo, Nintendo. 1 or 2 of their games made it to the Nintendo Switch on the eShop for download. The Sidney Hunter games, check them out. They are really fun. They make these games for the old systems. They made an FPGA ColecoVision called the Collectorvision Phoenix. There was a couple runs of that. I was lucky enough to get a hold of one. They may be doing a 3rd run. If you like ColecoVision, you should check that out, because it'll play all your original carts. Whatever you don't have on cart, you can put the ROM on SD card. You can also put Atari 2600 games on that SD card. They are making an adapter to put your Atari 2600 carts into their system, and they're working on several cores. So we may be playing Intellivision ROMs on the Collectorvision Phoenix at some point. That would be sweet, because the left turn only SD card flash cart is very expensive right now. I'm not willing to pay that. I'll just play on my original Intellivision. Hence, I got this game. I haven't even opened it yet, but the game should be in there. An instruction book, I'm assuming, is in there. I don't know if there's overlays. Didn't look that far into it. I ordered it in August. I didn't get it in October. Toby is one of the guys that you contact, and Toby seems to do a hell of a lot of stuff for this little tiny company. I asked him in October, I'm like, I didn't get my game. Was there an oversight? Is there some reason I didn't get it? He said, another 3 to 4 weeks, something like that. He said, we're working on the last half of the pre-orders. Something happened there. They couldn't get them all out. They're working on it. So then November comes and I didn't get it. And I was starting to get a little worried. And then in November, I saw that they had more and more of the cast of the Goonies coming to Steel City Con in Monroeville, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area. And I'm like, I think I want to go and take the kids back to Steel City Con. That'll be a great 2 weeks before Christmas gift for me and the kids. And the list kept growing of the Goonies people that were going to be there. And I thought, wouldn't that be great to have GOONiNUFF to take there? Holy crapola. At least get some pictures in there. And I did. It came. This game came. And I wasn't thinking it was going to show up in time. It came yesterday, Friday, December the 10th. My tickets, we only bought tickets for 1 day. And we bought the professional photo ops for the Goonies cast for the 11th, today, December 11th, Saturday. This game came yesterday in the mail. Holy crap. And I wasn't even expecting it. I thought, okay, I don't know when this game's going to come now, because After the 2 to 3 more week or whatever delay, I was supposed to get into November. It didn't show up. I guess the first of the year, I'll ask again what's going on with it. You know, chip shortage, this and that. It's a very small company. It happens. I'm patient enough. But I was so happy that this game showed up yesterday. And here it is. And at some point in some video, I am going to play this on my original Intellivision. But I got it in time. We went down there. I waited in Sean Astin's line for probably over an hour. My kids were bored as hell. But he signed it. He signed it, Sean Astin. Mikey, it says. Mikey. Sean Astin, Mikey. Went over and got Data to sign it. Don't want to butcher his name again. Nicest guy in the world. Almost as nice, probably as nice as when I met Mr. Henry Winkler. And he signed it right there. And he wrote on there, I'm setting booty traps. And then he wrote Data in quotes. I am setting booty traps. Huh? Data. Booty traps. Huh? Mikey. Just wrote Mikey. But that's okay. Didn't get to talk as long to him. Did talk to Data while we were there. And he did wear a mask in the beginning, but for selfie pictures, which I did do with him. I don't know that Sean Astin was doing selfie pictures at his booth. Probably just the professional pictures. Because he had a mask on too. Data did have a mask on, but he came out around. We'll give you the background, the full back picture here behind the scenes. He'll do a selfie with you. I paid for the selfie and the autograph because I think the guy is great in both Temple of Doom and in the Goonies. And, you know, very intelligent man. Came from Vietnam, I do believe, back when he was a very young child. Became a child actor. And great guy. But they had some rules. He's coming out for the selfie. He will explain to you, the handler told me, he will explain to you what's going to happen. So he came out with his mask on. And he said, okay, we'll look right over there at the camera, my phone. They took my phone. And he said, we will look at it. And then when I take my mask down, you hold your breath. We will hold our breath and take the picture. And I said, okay, we'll do that. I'm more than happy to do that. I know you don't want to catch the COVID. So, you know, as far as I know, I don't have COVID. I already had it last March. I've been vaccinated from the wife and kids urging because of my current health problems. 3, 2, 1. I don't know if they even counted down. He took the mask down. I forgot not to breathe. I'm going to tell you the truth. And the nice handler there snapped 3 or 4 pictures instead of just one to make sure she got something good. I think I breathed the whole time like a fat, ignorant American. I am sorry for that. But when he saw this game, and Sean Astin and his handler too, they saw this and they said, what is this? And they were just like, I told them it's an Intellivision game. But it's new. And Sean Astin and them were like, oh, cool. But I got a bigger response. You had to be there, I guess, for the expression from Data. Kehu Kwan. He was just like, what is this? I have never seen this before. What is this? And I said, this is what they call a homebrew game. It's a new game by a small company. There's only 100 or 200 of these out. Right now, at this point, I said it is a Goonies game for the Intellivision system, you know, a game system that is 42 years old. And he said he remembered the Intellivision. And he said, and I'm not trying to be stereotypical. He's funny in those movies because of the way he says things, his English. And he said, that is very cool. I swear to God to you, that is what he said. That is very cool. And I said, thank you very much. And he really thought it was cool. And he stood there and he studied that thing, you know, before he signed it for a minute. And then he signed it and he really thought it was cool. And you know what? He's right. It is really cool. I love the Goonies. I love video games. They come together perfectly. This came the day before I met them. That is perfect. perfect. You know, and there's a bunch of things, vendors and stuff that I didn't videotape. There's people that sell jewelry and gemstones and weird things unrelated. There were people that sold a lot of broken and crapped up toys, looked like they had feces on them, and I'm sure they did at some point. There were people that sold food type items. There were people that were actually doing tattoos there, spur of the moment tattoos, if you want to do that kind of thing. People had things like a chocolate place. They were selling chocolate covered pretzels and chocolate pieces and stuff. I just didn't record all of that. And it was so tight, you know, a couple thousand people there compared to how it used to be, where it was probably 1,000 or less back in the day, probably less. People everywhere. And then whatever my health problem is kicked in a few times when I was in line, especially for the Goonies Pro-Op picture, and that was with the whole cast. We had to stand there. But once the lines got moving for those pictures, bam, they got you in there and they got you out of there. But I had my Collectorvision, Intellivision, GOONiNUFF game in the picture with data, and with the whole cast in that picture. You'll see it there. I'm the fat guy in the center of that picture that looks like I ate Sloth and Chunk together. Yeah, Chunk doesn't show up to these. He's a lawyer now. They said that they tried to get him, and people kept pestering him. Did he come? Did he come? They said he does not want to come. So we got the 2 Fratellis. Come on now. 2 remaining Fratellis. And Martha Plimpton, we didn't get her. And of course we didn't get Bran, but you know, he's Thanos. You're not going to get him right now. Maybe a few years down the road. Maybe when he's 68, he don't give a fudge anymore. Maybe he'll show up to one of these. You're not going to get him. But hey, you got my favorites. At least movie-wise. Not, of course, Chunk has a favorite, but he's a lawyer. He ain't showing up. You had Mikey. You had Data. You had Mouth. And in the movies, I always liked Corey Feldman in the movies, you know. But real life, he is very eccentric. And I'm not exactly sure how he treats people when they meet him. Most of these guys would be like, they'll do an autograph. There was a set price. They'll do an autograph for $50. Corey Feldman's was not a set price. It said $50 to $80. So I don't know if that meant he would decide when he saw you what he was going to charge you. I don't know. And like I said, he came walking in like the Queen of Sheba with his fluffy slippers and giant glasses and blinged out mask, and you know, he was Corey Feldman that we have seen in reality shows and whatnot. He was the star. But so I didn't meet him, didn't have him sign it, and I'm okay with that. He could be the greatest guy in the world. I wasn't going to wait in that line that long after the way I was feeling today. But GOONiNUFF, I will be doing a gameplay video here. I will eventually be opening it. It's not shrink wrapped or plastic sealed. It's just a game that's in there, and we will be playing it. And what did I pick up? Nothing spectacular. As you will see in my walk-around video, people were charging pretty shitty prices. In the old days, you could go in there and get all kind of stuff. I always liked the Tengen games, or rather, the cartridges before they had to become officially licensed, back when they were only Tengen licensed. Just got one in my last Video Games Monthly box. So I picked up Alien Syndrome. This guy had it. He had it for $10. It is in the ballpark, a little bit cheaper than what price charting is saying. $10. Alien Syndrome. Got that from him. He didn't have a huge selection. He did have some boxed stuff that was a little pricier. He had a boxed, and it might have still been sealed Poltergeist for the Genesis. I would have grabbed that, but it was $130 some bucks, and I just didn't. I was spending a ton of money as it was, so I got Pac-Man, Tengen. Now there's also a Tengen Pac-Man, a regular Nintendo cart that came out, I think, after. It was $10 in the ballpark, maybe a little cheaper, but in the ballpark. So I got that because I like the Tengen games. And here's a game that It still blows my mind that I haven't owned it until today, because I played it a lot on my NES and the arcade as a kid. Known in some places as Green Beret, it is Russian Attack. Russian Attack. Get it? Russians. Cold War, the 80s, was all about the Russians. And I played this a lot as a kid. I borrowed it. I rented it. Played arcades, you know. Played it a lot, but wow, surprisingly it wasn't in my collection. And I didn't even remember that it wasn't in my collection. So I said, well, I've got to remedy that. So here it is. And of course it's on my modded Wii and my modded NES Mini, but I wanted the cartridge for my collection. Very clean, very pristine. $5 in the ballpark, or just under, somewheres around there from price charting. This was one guy that wasn't trying to rip you. You know, he was just selling them. Here they are. And my boy got 2 Game Boy games from him and a Game Boy Color game for his handheld collection. So, without further ado, I'm not sure exactly yet how I'm going to do this. Maybe I'll just throw in a little music with it. As me walking around, and you can see some of the trading cards and things that I thought looked kind of interesting. It's alright. It's alright. And maybe I'll keep our voices in there talking, but we really weren't talking about much. I think at one point I may have been jokingly calling my son an asswipe. I kind of remember that. He did something or said, so he was being a smart aleck, and hey, he's almost 18. He'll be 18 in March, so he knows when he's an asswipe. You know, we're not gonna tiptoe around and treat him like a baby. If you're an asswipe, you're an asswipe. So here you go. Don't know if I'll do an outro to this video, so if I don't, thank you for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments below. GOONiNUFF, that's pretty sweet. Meeting the cast of the Goonies and signing at least a couple of them. Mikey and Data signing my GOONiNUFF copy is good enough for me. I didn't have time to get Carrie Green, Andy, to sign it. Her line wasn't as long either. I just didn't have time to get there to do that. And like I said, Corey Feldman's line was out the butt. And he was also in between doing his pro pictures for the Goonies. He was doing pro pictures with the dude that played Billy for the Gremlins. He was doing his own pro photos. So he was going to be tied up. There was no way in hell we were going to get through that line to get his signature. And then if we did, was he going to put a signature on it? Was he going to say, what the hell is this? Why is my image on this? I didn't approve. You know, I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? But thanks for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you go to any cons in your area or out of your area? There's people that fly into our area for these now. They're pretty big. We'll see you. See you on the next. I got pizza waiting. I'll see you on the next video. Thank you for everything. Thank you for all of my subscribers and my new subscribers. I really do appreciate it. See you on the next video. CityCon, December 11th, 2021, and over there is the Monroeville Mall, where the famous Dawn of the Dead was filmed in 1978. Still a mall that my wife and daughter shop at just about every stinking weekend. sausage on burger, but I know a pizza burger and also cheeseburger. That's dead. That's dead. Come on. So much of the stuff as a kid. fish store. Oh, Nacho. Come here, Nacho. No biting. No bite. Ooh, no biting. Oh, Nacho, stop.